crazy. I don't want to have to do.
Who's that creeping through my window? 40 on me like I'm Winslow. Hit that nigga with that act right. I was fighting wars day and night. Who's that creeping through my window? 40 on me like I'm Winslow. Hit that nigga with that act right. I was fighting wars day and night. They keep it real with niggas, man. Most of y'all frauds. Leave like you frauds. Y'all pussy niggas gon' ride for your dog. Right at your man and put the dagger right in his heart. I'm playing my part. Definitely I'm playing it smart. And if I don't get you, then I'm coming for your brother then. Or his mother then. It's kind of crazy revenge settling. Rape, sold, and murdered the natives when they was settling. Coming in out of the water that they was fishing in. I was raised in hell. It got dark when I was pedaling. White man harassing the block when we was pedaling. White man who also was the plug when we was pedaling. I would never fraud if I was on David Letterman. This is UPK and I'm chopping some bass. When the Christ come back, I'm gonna ride on your ass. Got the Johnny Walker in me and I'm all in my bag. I'm on my Friday the 13th with the gun and the mask. Ah! Who's that creeping through my window? 40 on me like I'm Winslow. Hit that nigga with that act right. I was fighting wars day and night. Who's that creeping through my window? 40 on me like I'm Winslow. Hit that nigga with that act right. I was fighting wars day and night.
Hey yo, the car and nacho, fucking doing crazy like they destined on the flocko. Righteous on the block though, the beat I catch a ride, but I always miss my stop though. Beefing with my shorty till I stuck it in the taco. Who's that creeping through my window? I ain't with the complications, I'ma keep it simple. Burn all black Dickie to the Timbo. You gon' find exactly what you looking for in limbo. We gon' get it in though. Experience I live from 2036. I see my brother when it's been done. Every day I think about the trouble that I slid from. That's why I call a white man the devil, cause he is one. That's not a motherfucker, I think we should just forgive. That act right, gave a nigga reason to live. Give you extra if you take it back or you renege. See him creeping, no Newport, I squeeze the cig.
Who's that creeping through my window? 40 on me like I'm Winslow. Hit that nigga with that act right. I was fighting wars day and night. Who's that creeping through my window? 40 on me like I'm Winslow. Hit that nigga with that act right. I was fighting wars day and night.
Where's the competition? I'm bored with it. Stepping up on a board mission. I keep 2 fours with it. Don't feel like a forward hitter. This piece I'm adored with it, but you can get gored with it. You don't want to war with him. This hammer, I'm Thor with it. You pray for my downfall, I just pray that the Lord with him. Taking every shot and I'm keeping the score with him. But this ain't a game. Ain't no back and forth with him. So quick, I'm dressed to kill. You can tell how that forfeit him. If this ain't in him, that beef is takeout. That means it's your steak dinner. I grip the stick, hit the switch and make you switch genders. That stretch 5 is too much, I make you switch sinners. That pressure on you call for God, you a chain sinner. A warlord, don't show no pain, just put that pain in her. A pillar in the shit, you know it ain't no change in her. It's legit if you see it in my name in it. It's UPK, nigga. Get it.
Who's that creeping through my window? 40 on me like I'm Winslow. Hit that nigga with that act right. I was fighting wars day and night. Who's that creeping through my window? 40 on me like I'm Winslow. Hit that nigga with that act right. I was fighting wars day and night.
Yo, spit your verse, yo.
I said, boom, shaka, laka, laka, waka, waka, chaka, haka.
You know what I'm saying? Yo, man. The EP, I.S.U.P.K. Philly, EP coming out soon, man.
Yo, man, listen, right? I was just running up on the car and I got ran up on. Right. Literally, man. I said I was just running up on the car and I literally got ran up on. Like, goddamn. They make some profile be like a boss.
All eyes on you. All eyes on you.
Okay, don't forget it. One West, I'm living, yeah. This for all my niggas, brothers and sisters, yeah. Feeling unstoppable, cause you know the Lord is with you, yeah. Breaking down scripture, that's the only motherfucking mission, yeah. I.S.U.P.K, don't forget it. One West, I'm living, yeah. This for all my niggas, brothers and sisters, yeah. Feeling unstoppable, cause you know the Lord is with you, yeah. Breaking down scripture, that's the only motherfucking mission, yeah. Who I be? Crime about, never soft. Break these bitches off. Get one through your stomach, through your damn meal figure. One West, nothing but soldiers and real niggas. Let my eyes get ya. Kiss the motherfucking booth of play nice picture. If you ain't an Israelite, then I don't fuck you. So pass and flyer through the bar, baby, you can take a picture. When they see us at the mall and we break it down, do it for the 12 tribe blood of an Israelite. When them devils start to die, we gon' ride. Slash by the most high, we gon' break the sky. When them white babies run, throw them off in the fire. Bury me a motherfucking piece when I die. I.S.U.P.K, one West, you know that's the lie. Fuck the other side, we don't fuck with you, man. Cop, get the order and we gon' take ground. I.S.U.P.K, don't forget it. One West, I'm living, yeah. This for all my niggas, brothers and sisters, yeah. Feeling unstoppable, cause you know the Lord is with you, yeah. Breaking down scripture, that's the only motherfucking mission, yeah. I.S.U.P.K, don't forget it. One West, I'm living, yeah. This for all my niggas, brothers and sisters, yeah. Feeling unstoppable, cause you know the Lord is with you, yeah. Breaking down scripture, that's the only motherfucking mission, yeah.
You don't have to be robbing and killing in the ghetto, living in filth and squalor. This don't have to be our life. This life is given to us by them low-life niggas you call black leaders.
One West, I.S.U.P.K, 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 I.S.U.P.K. One West, motherfucking I.S.U.P.K, 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 I.S.U.P.K. Warfare every motherfucking day. I.S.U.P.K, 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 I.S.U.P.K. One West, motherfucking I.S.U.P.K, 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 I.S.U.P.K. Warfare every motherfucking day. I don't fuck with the fake, never been on a date. Why these niggas so gay? I don't eat 2K. All I eat is steak, chicken and grapes. Feel like an 8, don't need no weights. I.S.U.P.K bitch at the bar. Hey, get a bitch wetter than the lake. Hey, open my eye, catch a case. I'll break a bitch nigga face. Hey, one West the only way. Hey, all eyes on I.S.U.P.K. Hey, take round. Hey, fuck what they say. Now we don't play. Chopper my spray. Beat him with the blade. Now the nigga on the fucking page. See sideways. Hey, we no gon' drop like this. Like one dead bitch, hot like this. I.S.U.P.K hit the fucking block like this. That's why the Lord can't stop this shit. Those ain't no bitch up in sight. All my niggas prepared to die. World War III, word on fire. Waiting on the Lord to crack the sky. In them chairs swing that. Woman nothing but them I.S.U.P.K sad one West.
One West, motherfucking I.S.U.P.K, I.S.U.P.K, warfare every motherfucking day. I.S.U.P.K, one West, motherfucking I.S.U.P.K, warfare every motherfucking day. I'm gonna set your shit off, I'm a black man. Slap teeth, but I get my foot the back end. You better hope that I don't get orders from captains to take ground, bitch. I'm ready for action. You already know what I gotta say. If you ain't I.S.U.P.K, put you in the goddamn way. I was born in a battlefield, in a battlefield. I'll be ready for this war shit every day. World War III, would you hurry up, please? So I can put my enemies on their knees and make them beg me, but no mercy from me. You didn't get love to the birds and the bees and the trees. But what the fuck do you mean? The only way we can have peace is to hear you scream. Priests and the prophets of the king. The stories of the book of the black God at the time of the sweet dreams. I think I was shot, Mashiach, the king of all kings, ruler of all things. Hell is what we bring. Destruction of Babylon, destroying everything. With towards the means on a whole nother level you ain't ever seen. Woman, I.S.U.P.K team, 144, you know what I mean. One West,
So-called Christian pastors and deacons, that's why your churches is failing. Because you've been lying. Oh, Israelites bringing out the troops. That's all. Read that again. Then, what? Agreement had the temple of God with idols. What agreement is there of the temple in the Bible with reindeer flying in the sky? What agreement is a Bible in the temple has to do with a damn Christmas tree? Anything else? Where's that agreement at? How do they even make sense to come together? That's right. But we follow the custom like it's a God given a high holy day. Where's the agreement on that? Right. The elves with the Bible. Right. The Keebler elves. Right. And then you got the kids making cookies for Santa Claus. You know what you're doing? You are cooking, you're making a burnt offering to a damn idol. Right. You damn heathen. Following damn heathen ways. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you are the special people of the Lord. That's right. Stop following these heathen customs. That's right.
Shalom. Right, and with that note, yeah, stop following these heathens' customs. We say shalom. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. I.S.U.P.K. today is run by Commanding General YAHANNA, the man with the rank and the authority. Be the leader of the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Yahweh Basham Yahweh Barakatam to the brothers, Yahweh Shamar Adatan Basham Yahweh to the sisters. Welcome to our Wednesday evening law class. All right, what we're talking about today now? We're dealing with idolatry again. Now, throughout the scriptures, and we keep on saying this, and our people keep on ignoring this. Throughout the scriptures, it tells you about the God name, the Lord's people, who are the sons of Jacob, who keep going off, following the heathens, and worshiping other gods, or in other words, worshiping idols. Now, we see where the Most High keep on punishing these people, who are His people, for doing this thing over and over again. Each time that they would worship well, it's not just a worship idol, but they're following it's all idol worshiping. They follow the customs and the ordinances of the heathens. What are these ordinances? Just like what we have today. Christmas being celebrated at a particular time of the year. Easter birthdays, Valentine's days. Yeah, the churches have Valentine's dinner. Tell about, yeah, the husbands and wives in the church come to the Valentine's dinner. We all know Valentine's come from one Saint Valentine's and Cupid. Yet the church, who said they should be leading the Most High's people, go after these pagan customs, and yet they expect us in the truth to keep silent, to be silent about these stupid acts that they are committing. And we are haters for telling our people that stop following the heathens. Yeah, we are haters. But at the same time, the heathens claim that they want to follow Christ. So who should be showing them how to follow Christ but us? We who have walked the road before. All right, so we're looking at another page in our history and journey of walking the straight and narrow, walking after the Most High God, the one God of this universe, Yahweh. And now we know of his son, Yahweh. All right. Shalom, warrior. How things?
Everything to have, sir.
All right. Your mic turn up.
Everything to have, sir. Shalom. Yabashim Shakata.
Yabashim Shakata. Your volume sound a bit low.
Salakia. Oh, it's sound now.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Take me to 2 Kings 16.
Another one gun.
Reading from 1.
Another one gun. This is the book of 2 Kings, chapter 16 and verse 1. The 17th year of Pekah, son of Remaliah, Ahaz, the son of Jotham, king of Judah, began to reign.
All right. So, Pekah, I think Pekah was a king in the northern kingdom. So, in the 17th year of that person, Ahaz, the son of Jotham, king of Judah, began to reign. So, he was reigning in the southern kingdom known as Judah continent.
Another one can, verse 2. 20 years old was Ahab when he began to reign. And reigned 16 years in Jerusalem. Ahaz, when he began to reign, and reigned 16 years in Jerusalem, and did not that which was right in the sight of the Lord his God, like David his father.
No, you realize how when you read the story of David follow the Most High God all the days of his life. Yeah, even though David did something, but David did not. There's no record of David worshiping any other God. Right. David loved the Most High God so till he wrote psalms unto God. These are songs. He would sing unto God. You know, when you love a woman till, if you're a songwriter, songs just come into your head. Baby, 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 and so on. What's it? Not. And you write songs to the woman that you love. Well, it was a similar thing with David. David loved the Most High God, and these songs keep coming onto him. and he will write them down. They are like song and they are like poem. But David's sons, boy, they were something else. Almost all of them, the majority of David's sons, except for Christ, not even Solomon didn't follow the Most High God the way David did. Christ would have been the only one who had followed the Most High God better than David.
Right.
But all his son, and here is another one now. He did not that which was right in the sight of God, which means whenever you see this in the scripture, it's not so much the personal life of the king, you know, it's the things that the king does that affect the nation, is the Most High's people. Like sometimes they close the temple and move into idolatry, right? Sometimes they get perverse with judgment and not judging according to how the Most High says to judge. You know, things like those, things that affect the nation. So this man now wasn't doing what was right in the sight of God. It's because of what he was doing to the nation at that time. Read on.
Canada 1 Gun, verse 3. But he walked in the way of the kings of Israel, yea, and made his son to pass through the fire, according to the abomination of the heathen, whom the Lord cast out from before the children of Israel.
Right. So, you know, he did all these things that the Most High had forbidden us to do. The Most High told us from the time of Moses, he said, listen, I'm casting out this nation from before you because they were doing A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, right all the way down to X, Y, Z. And be aware not to do the things that these nations do, or I am going to cast you out just the way I cast them out. So this now King of Judah following the northern kingdom, when it should be the northern kingdom following him. He walked in the way of the king of Israel, and he followed the abominations of the heathen. What do you mean by abomination of the heathen? He followed the things that the heathen do that were ungodly. When you're doing things that are ungodly, and you're doing it with that reverence as if you were doing it unto God, then the Most High call it an abomination because you think you are doing it for him, but you are not. Continue.
Canada 1 Gun, verse 4. And he sacrificed and burned incense in the high places, and on the hills, and under every green tree.
Right, there you go now. But when it says burn incense under every green tree, it don't mean that every single tree in the land he would put up that incense altar and burn incense there. You know, figuratively speaking, he actually burned incense. In other words, it's like him don't cast out any religion. You know, like how we would today have they call it freedom of religion.
Good.
Which means that, boy, you know, we respect each other's religious views and all that. But here we go now. Their idolatry that they had then, you know, on hills. This hill here wasn't really governmental. You know, like how the Rastaman say, boy, you know, you go up in the hill and praise God. And something like that. They believe that they need to go up in the hills to be closer to God. So they would go up in the hills, just like the scripture said, burning incense and making sacrifice. Right? And this still carry on today, like in Tibet and some sections of China, you know, where you see they build some shrines. And these shrines that they build in the open, in the mountain, they are well kept, you know. The closest thing we would have to a shrine here in Jamaica is if we go out the mineralite roundabout, we have the picture of Portia. with the well kept green area. Even when everywhere else is in drought, you know, that area is still green, you know. That area around Portia's portrait. Well, picture. Photo. That's like a shrine. I mean, we look at it simple, but that was what they would done back in the days. They would put up a statue of the god that they worshiped, and they put green areas, well kept green areas, you know, with gold decoration and so on, right around it. Today it's nowhere different. Continue.
Canal 1, verse 5. Then Rezin, king of Syria, and Pekah, son of Ramaliah, king of Israel, came up to Jerusalem to war, and they besieged Ahaz, but could not overcome him.
All right, they besieged Ahaz, but could not overcome him. All right, continue.
Canal 1, verse 6. At that time, Rezin, king of Syria, recovered Elat to Syria, and drave the Jews from Elat, and the Syrians came to Elat and dwelt there unto this day.
All right, so who are the Jews in this line here now? This verse here, who are the Jews that they're talking about?
This line, Salakia. I'm not sure. Probably Judah, Benjamin, and Levi.
Right, the southern kingdom. Right. The northern kingdom was called Israel.
Okay.
And the southern kingdom called Judah.
Yeah.
And the inhabitants of that kingdom was called Jews. So, you know, the true Jews. So Jews, they natives, the Native Americans and so on. They were never called Jews, you know. They weren't called Jews. They were called Israel. Right. Continue.
Canal 1, verse 7. Ahaz sent messengers to Tiglath-Pileser, king of Assyria, saying, I am thy servant and thy son. Come up and save me out of the hand of the king of Syria and out of the hand of the king of Israel, which rise up against me.
Out of the hand of the king of Syria, which rise up against me. Right. King of Israel. So here you have no Ahaz now turning, rather than turning to the Most High God. If you notice in verse 3, it said he walked in the way of the kings of Israel. And here now the king of Israel was warring him. So you would wonder now, so how was he walking in the way of the king of Israel? And you think they would have been ally? Well, that's figure of speech that walk in the way of the king of Israel mean that he went into idolatry, deep into idolatry. So much so that he sacrifices his son. Right? So here now is he now turn into the Assyrians for help against his own brother. Continue.
Canal 1, verse 8. And Ahaz took the silver and gold that was found in the house of the Lord, and in the treasures of the king's house, and send it for a present to the king of Assyria.
Right. Take out the Most High's treasure and give it to the king of Assyria, purchasing friendship that he might come to his aid. Which you know, who's supposed to fight the battle? Who's supposed to fight the battle for Israel?
The Most High.
Right. Most High God should fight Israel's battle. All right. Read on. Let me see if we can find it.
Verse 9. And the king of Assyria hearkened unto him, for the king of Assyria went up against Damascus and took it and carried the people of it captive to Kir and slew Rezin.
You sound like a chip. Verse what then?
Yes, sir. Me read verse 9 a while ago. You never
Right.
hear?
Yeah, man. But you
Okay.
sound like you chip out after.
La, me never chip out without wait for hear if you have elaborate.
Right. So the king of Assyria listened to him
So,
because him send money. So it's like when today, what do you call it today when I get others to fight for you? What do I call it?
like that for hire people for fight for you come like hire mercenaries.
Mercenaries is one, and
God.
also there's ally. Putin doing that. Putin turned into mercenaries.
God.
Whatever kind of mercenary him can find. I mean, Ukraine did the same thing. Ukraine actually called for anybody around the world who want to come and help them fight.
God.
Yeah, that's mercenary. So you see how far back these things were. Yet still people want to tell about Bible done away with. The Bible can't be outdated when you are doing the same things that are in the Bible.
Right.
When the Bible is so primitive that you have evolved out of doing those things, then you can say it's outdated. But you're doing the same thing. Mercenaries. The latest war that is being fought now, Ukraine, Russia. There are mercenaries in it. Continue.
Right. Canada 1 God, verse 9. And the king of Assyria hearkened unto him. Slakia, verse 10.
Verse 10.
And King Ahaz went to Damascus to meet Tiglath-Pileser, king of Assyria, and saw an altar that was at Damascus. And King Ahaz sent to Arijah, the priest, the fashion of the altar and the pattern of it, according to all the workmanship thereof.
All right. So there you have it again now. According to all the what? The workmanship. Now what the most I say about our altar?
Most I said no tool, no, you know what I mean? No tools, no for go upon it.
There should be no workmanship on our altar.
God.
All right. Let me see if we could find that. we find that again?
So
And I'm searching, I'm not seeing it. That's all right, Exodus 38 and 7. Let me see what that says. All right, what verse what we at now? We're at verse 10.
Verse 11.
Yeah, we just read 10. All right. So we said Exodus 38. Exodus 38 and 10. Hold on, I think we said, oh, 7.
Salakia, sir. I find one we speak about.
Yeah, where's that?
Exodus 20 and 25.
Exodus 20 and 25. All right, read it.
Canada one gun. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20 and 25. And if thou wilt make me an altar of stone, thou shalt not build it of hewn stone. Or if thou lift up thy tool upon it, thou hast polluted it.
Thou as what?
Thou hast polluted it.
Right, meaning that it's not unto God. Once you put stone, you put workmanship on that altar. That's not unto God. You just take it off whole stone. You find the stones, you take them up, put it on it. There has to be no workmanship on it. All right, but let's go back to 2 Kings.
Canada one gun.
Exodus 20 and 25.
Gun, sir. 20 and 25. Exodus 20 and
25.
Gun, sir. This is the book of 2 Kings 16 and 11. And Urijah, the priest, built an altar according to all King Ahaz, all that King Ahaz had sent from Damascus. So Urijah, the priest, made it against King Ahaz, came from Damascus.
All right, that is. Sorry. You were so he sent the Ahaz sent this altar that he saw in Damascus. Damascus being the capital of
Syria. Cancer.
Not Assyria, but Syria. So he saw a altar that was in Syria. Obviously, he liked how it looked. And he went there and him, what do you think he trying to do? He trying to win over the Syrians. Why, we're going to do the same thing like what you're doing. Which way what he should have done is turn to the Most High God of Israel.
Right.
But he saw this altar and now today would say him take the pictures of the altar, but him get the specification of the altar. That it described down to the T and send it to the priest back in Jerusalem. And the priest was able to build him an altar according to all the specifications that he sent to him from Damascus. And that means what? That altar that he built would have been what? Polluted.
Right.
Because the Most High said no workmanship should be on the altar. Continue.
Another one, verse 12. And when the king was come from Damascus, the king saw the altar, and the king approached to the altar and offered thereon.
Right. And there you know go and approach and put offerings. Who you think he was doing it to? He doing it unto God. But the Most High tell you already in his laws that such altar is being polluted.
Right.
Right. So if it is polluted, then it means that the Most High is not. The Most High has no interest in anything that is offered on that altar. How much different is that today from your Christmas dinner and your Easter dinner and your New Year's dinner and your whatever holiday dinner that you offer through the Christian church today? No different, because all the things that they are doing is not done according to how the Most High God say you have to do it. We want to do things according, this look good, man, and this have a little more style to it. Sure, that altar that he saw in Damascus, was no doubt more beautiful and splendor than what they had in Jerusalem. Because the one that was in Jerusalem, that would look like, when somebody just learning trade and you just do it thing like a chaka,
Good.
right? Because there's no workman in it. You just pack the stones and you make your altar. But here now, this one have specifications. You make it beautiful. And that was what caught our people. The Christian church is no way different today. Because what? Rome and Pope and the Queen, they are so splendid. They look so splendid. You want to follow them. And in following them, you are polluting yourself as an Israelite.
Right.
Continue.
Another one, verse 13. And he burnt his burnt offering and his meat offering, and poured his drink offering, and sprinkled the blood of his peace offerings upon the altar.
Right. What was he doing? All the things that the Most High God tell us to do.
Right.
Burnt offering, meat offering, drink offering, sprinkling the blood of the peace offering. All these are works that should be done on our altar. And here he is now doing it on an altar which the Most High God tell you that it will be polluted if you do it any other way than this. Continue.
Another one, verse 14. And he brought also the brazen altar, which was before the Lord, from the forefront of the house, from between the altar and the house of the Lord, and put it on the north side of the altar.
So here now what he's doing now, redecorating this according to the altar that he saw in Damascus. Because what he is doing is no way different from what our people are doing. Sure. Them things are old time things now, man. We need to do things more modern. Yeah, these scriptures are outdated, man. We need more modern things. Let's go back to Obia. Who said that? Muta, man. Yeah. Not knowing that he's rising for a fall. So it's nowhere different than what? What's his name? Ahaz.
Good.
It's nowhere different than what Ahaz was doing. Continue.
Another one, verse 15. And King Ahaz commanded Uriah the priest, saying, upon the great altar burn the morning burnt offering, And in the evening meat offering, Salakia, and the evening meat offering, and the king's burnt sacrifice, and his meat offering, with the burnt offering of all the people of the land, and their meat offering, and their drink offerings, and sprinkle upon it all the blood of the burnt offering, and all the blood of the sacrifice. And the brazen altar shall be for me to inquire by.
You hear them? Every single offering that the Most High commanded us to do, it didn't change them, you know. So, I mean, should the Most High God take it because he's doing meat offering and burnt offering and so on and this and that and so on?
Right.
And shouldn't the Most High God take it? It's just like you now eating pork and you say, well, I bless it and it smells good.
Gone.
And this pig that I'm eating now is not, it's not a wild pig. It was raised in a pen and it came from a generation of pigs that were grown in pens and not in the wild. So they did not eat garbage. They can be domesticated, though. Of course, the Lord will bless it. The Lord will take it. That's no way different than that today.
Right.
What he's doing is all the offerings that the Most High say offer upon my altar here. He now build this beautiful, splendid altar that he saw in Damascus. He replicate it. It's like you going to Rome now and you see the Pope with a black Christ and a what do you call that thing again? The cross.
Gone.
They say, wow, this is what I should be bowing myself to as well. And you go now and you replicate the black Jesus on the cross.
Right.
And you can put it in a church out here and say, see, Christ is black.
God.
But would you be right to be doing that's idolatry? You bow yourself to somebody on a cross. That's idolatry, man. The
Right.
Most High God tell us that don't make anything. Nothing, there should be no image whatsoever that you bow yourself to.
Right.
So, I mean, it's the same mistakes we keep making. Because those who have us captive, they ensure that we make the same mistakes. And one way to ensure that you make the same mistake is to not give you your identity at this time. Because we get in our identity where we'll be able to look at the Bible and say, hold on. Just like what you are doing in the truth here, we'll be able to say, oh yeah, we're making the same mistake again, man. We're making the same mistake. No, we can't afford to make the same mistake. Let's go follow Commanding General YAHANNA. And Commanding General YAHANNA will show us. He'll be a good shepherd unto us and to show us the things to not do and the things to do so that we don't make the same mistake. The thing they want that. They don't want that. So what they do, keep us ignorant. Right? You see, our government recently come up with a law telling them about, what is it, 15 years mandatory sentence if you're found with an illegal gun. Yeah. I mean, you have power over the people, but because you have no power over who is making the gun, you can't do nothing about who is making the gun and sending the gun in the island. But you're telling man now, 15 years mandatory sentence. Why not find another way? Where's the social intervention program to prevent that man from going to have to take up a gun in the first place?
Right.
And our statistics show that approximately 90% of our people who fall into the hands of the criminal system you know, have an incomplete education. So how about you completing their education so that they don't have to do this? Statistics also show that 90%, probably more, of these men don't really have any income, any source of income.
Right.
Right? How about taking the Chinese out of our space so
Right.
that we can better plan for our sons that they don't fall in the hands of the don't fall ill of the law? How about that? No, these Edens that are over us, the only thing they can see is what you are doing at this time. They don't see they don't see, well, and they are the same one who talk about rhyme and reason. But they don't, when it comes to us, they don't see our rhyme and reason, but they only see their rhyme and reason. Eh?
So like, yeah, what that where you say right?
Rhyme and reason.
Rhyme and reason.
Rhyme.
Rhyme and reason. Can.
Yeah. Meaning, you know, it's like Newton's law, every action equal and opposite reaction.
Okay, can.
Meaning, whatever you do now is going to have some consequences later on down in life.
Can.
Yeah. It's like if you know you have a 6 o'clock meeting tomorrow, yet you went to bed 4 o'clock and you're already tired.
Right.
Chances are you're gonna be, if you even wake up early and make it to your 6 o'clock meeting, you're going to have some tiredness in that meeting.
Can.
You're probably going to have to fall short in that meeting. You're probably not going to think as good as if your body was rested. That's rhyme and reason. Right? So here now, this action that we are reading here now is a perfect example of rhyme and reason in our case as Israelites. Right? We build we build an altar and we put all the things that the Most High said we should do on this altar that He said we should not make.
Right.
So in our mind, the Lord understands, man. The Lord understands. Don't. Isn't that what the Christians say? God will understand, man. He is a merciful God, you know.
Good.
Well, let's read on and see how much mercy He has. No? Let's see the mercies that He's showing. Continue.
Canada 1 can, verse 16. Thus did Urijah the priest, according to all that King Ahaz commanded. Verse 17. And King Ahaz cut off the borders of the bases and removed the laver from off them, and took down the sea from off the brazen oxen that were under it, and put it upon a pavement of stones.
Now, when you read this that He is doing, it wasn't so long ago we were reading in, I think, Samuel, right? When King Solomon was making Kings, in the book of Kings, when King Solomon was making the temple, and he put up the lava and the basins and all those things. And here now one of Solomon's sons, in order to please the heathens, what the Most High said we should not do. We keep on trimming our ways to do what?
To seek love.
To seek love. So here we are now, perfect example of us trimming our ways to seek the love of the Syrians. He said this is why the Most High in his wrath is telling you that Syria is going to, Damascus is going to be a heap, right? Meaning destroyed.
Right.
They have become they seem to be worse than the Philistines. Continue.
Another one can, verse 18. And the covert for the Sabbath that they had built in the house, and the king's entry without, turn ye from the house of the Lord for the king of Assyria.
All right, so it's covert, and the covert for the Sabbath that they had built in the house. Whatever, I don't know, not sure what the covert for the Sabbath, but it is a place that they would use for the Sabbath. And the king's entry without, turn ye from the house of the Lord for the king of Assyria. So in turn, all those things separate for the king of Assyria. So it's two king him trying to please them. Assyria now is become his ally,
Good.
But he might try to make friends with the Syrian because the Syrian them is the ones giving him the trouble. All right, read on.
Another one can, verse 19. Now the rest of the acts of Ahaz which he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah?
20.
Verse 20. And Ahaz slept with his fathers and was buried with his fathers in the city of David. And Hezekiah, his son, reigned in his stead.
Yeah, man. Him is one who should go ahead and sleep with his father. Meaning, dead, die. Right? Well deserved. This man turned everything to suit. Well, this is what we're telling you. We that's why the most I say we drink down to the dregs of his wrath. The cup of his wrath. We hold it out and wring it out. Meaning, we made all the mistakes that were there to be made in the book. So him say, don't make your altar with the hand by the hands of workmen. Okay, here we go. Now how we do it. Trimming our ways to seek love. All right. Chapter 17.
Another one can. This is the book of 2 Kings, chapter 17, and verse 1. In the 12th year of Ahaz, king of Judah, began Hoshea, the son of Elah, to reign in Samaria over Israel 9 years.
Mm-hmm. Go on.
Verse 2. He did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, but not as the kings of Israel that were before him.
All right. So this one now, in the 12th year of Ahaz, Hoshea reigned in Samaria. However, Hoshea did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, but not as the kings of Israel that were before. So there is degree of evils. So he was evil in that, but he was not so evil. Because maybe him still remember the Most High God, even though him do a lot of things to appease the people with them idolatrous ways and things. Most likely still remember the Most High God in some ways. Continue.
Another one can, verse 3. Against him came up Shalmaneser, king of Assyria, and Hoshea became his servant and gave him presents.
Read on.
Another one can, verse 4. And the king of Assyria found conspiracy in Hoshea, for he had sent messengers to sow and brought no present to the king of Assyria, as he had done year by year. Therefore the king of Assyria shut him up and bound him in prison.
All right. So meaning that the king of Assyria found him to be a conspirator. You know, like when bad man a bully some people, and you know, well, we call it like extort. It was a send on, you know, and every year a man supposed to send on, and you know, you realize you must send on a while, and then you investigate, only to find out that he might link with some other bad man now to come fight you.
God.
So you just make you move on him before that ally which he's seeking, before it comes to any form of fusion. You make you move on him. Continue. Verse what that?
Verse 5 now.
Yeah, fine, go ahead.
Another one gone. Verse 5. Then the king of Assyria came up throughout all the land and went up to Samaria and besieged it 3 years. 3
All
years.
right. Now, the way our lands were situated, you know, external powers don't know all the entries into our country now, unless we show them.
Right.
So because he was our colonizer, he get to know the country, just like Jamaica here now. Yeah, England, the English them know everywhere, every part of Jamaica. You know. They might have physical, but the soldiers who know the place, they are allies of the king. Well, it's king we have now, not queen.
God.
They are allies of the king. So, you know, what? There is no way. There was a time when the interior part of the island, who knew it? It was the Maroons.
God.
But they find ways to make the Maroons their servant, and they learn the interior of the island. Our soldiers, them know it now. So, you know, you see, Britain want to take up back the Commonwealth now, and we talking about away with Commonwealth and stuff. If they decide to really take Jamaica by force, they can do it again. They know the island even more now than when they first took it from the Spanish. So they can take it. And they're not coming by sea this time again. They'll just parachute some men into the island.
Salakia, sir. If they decide to do that, right, would it be our military turning against us? You know what I mean? What would be the protocol for our military, seeing that our military really belongs to the crown?
Well, our military, all right. If they're going to come here by force, well, what would cause them to come by force is if, say, we make a move to do away with the crown.
God.
And they believe that Jamaica is very important in their move towards reorganizing the Commonwealth, then they will come by force.
God.
But outside of that, if we don't make a move to remove the crown, trust me, the only thing England would need to do is find some money and buy them out. That's all they would need to do, because them politicians are licky like one.
Salakia, sir.
Yeah.
All right. If through the Governor General, you know what I mean, them say to the military, stand down. You know what I mean? The military is obligated to stand down, or our government would have to, what I call it, win over the military leaders them to go on their side and go against the protocol we're already in place.
Well, every single soldier and police, their allegiance is to the crown.
God.
Yeah, PJ had tried to change that to say their allegiance to the country, but really and truly their allegiance is to the crown.
God.
So, I mean, they are not going to go against their oath. What you probably might see is just maybe some resignations But
Okay, gone.
yeah, those who run the army and the police force, the Edens them they are the top, you know. So
Gone.
you didn't I wouldn't easily switch to just say, here we are your subjects. Yeah. Just like what is we are reading about in the scriptures. It's not far. It's nothing far fetched. Jamaica, Trinidad is a would be a more difficult place. Trinidad moved from the crown, but the Trinidadians who they are controlled by by Elam and the Arabs because
Gone.
Muslim strong over there. Once you have Muslim that strong in the country, are being controlled by the Arabs. It's three strong religion in Trinidad, you know. Hinduism, um, maybe you can call it four, because Catholicism is strong over there. Christianity is strong. Catholicism and Christianity, believe it or not, is not exactly the same thing, you know.
Them operate like two different.
Yeah, because remember, what we call Christians, you know, is really Protestants
Gone.
against Rome. So even though they're using Rome doctrine and pay money to Rome every year, you know,
Gone.
it's as if um they don't know that they are the same religion, but they are very like a two different religion. Muslim is strong over there, Hinduism, Christianity, Catholicism. Plus, you have many other religions. Hey, they are more diverse in religion than us in Jamaica here. Muslim not that strong out here. No? Muslim out here, no, not strong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Catholicism is out here. Now and again, you hear some influence also from the Catholics, but not strong again. Anglican is strong out here. Probably Anglican more stronger than the Catholics.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that because of Britain.
Yeah. Because of England.
Catholic could have come with Slovakia, sir. Catholic could have come with the Spanish.
Right.
Gone. And then Britain now take over from Spanish. Bring
Spanish. Right. Because the Pope did already excommunicate England from the church, you know. So what England did so that was to take to the seas. All the work that the British does was in protection of their self so that the rest of the Europeans didn't invade them. They take to the seas, make themselves powerful. When the rest of the Europeans see how powerful they are, they're not going to come and try to overthrow them because anybody with the Pope excommunicate, any country that would get excommunicated in those days, that's how powerful the Rome was. Once you get excommunicated from the church, it means that the others can invade you.
Like you know, I'm the rights again.
Right. So it's
Right.
just like NATO.
Gone.
Yeah.
Gone.
A NATO country cannot invade another NATO country. But they can might as well they can very well invade another country that is not a member of NATO. Mm. That's the way it is. So the king of Assyria came up on Samaria, and they were able to come in because they already know the entry into Samaria, various places that they can walk. I mean, Samaria was already friends to the Eden quite a while. All right, we done.
Another one, gun, verse 6. In the 9th year of Hoshea, the king of Assyria, took Samaria. Slakia. In the 9th year of Hoshea, the king of Assyria took Samaria and carried Israel away into Assyria and placed them in Allah and in Abar by the river of Ozan and in the cities of the Medes.
No, this is just one single verse in the whole chapter. But this verse is so deep because right here in this just one verse was where the other 9.5 tribes of the Israelites disappeared from the land.
Good.
And here it is in the record where they went. There's no record in the Old or New Testament as to where exactly they went after they were given liberty. You'll have to check the Apocrypha for that. Alright? And these heathens will show you how cruel they are. They remove the Apocrypha from the scriptures.
Good.
Which means the Spanish people don't even read it because they are strong Catholics. So they are just going to follow what the church said they should do.
Good.
Read on.
Slakia, sir, that was important because the Catholic Church at the time, you know what I mean, knew that they were the Israelites.
Yeah.
And even Christopher Columbus was reading Second Esdras to look our Hispanic brothers. You know what I mean? He was a fake Jew and also a Catholic.
That was how he knew where to find the Northern Kingdom.
Gun. Another one. Gun. Verse 7. For so it was that the children of Israel had sinned against the Lord their God, which had brought them up out of the land of Egypt, from under the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and had feared other gods.
You see? When it's a feared other gods, it means they start worshiping these idols to the point where they now start believing that if they don't do these things, some misfortune is going to take them. Just like the Christmas tree back in the days, they believe that if they did not put the presents under the Christmas tree, then when they would lose their head. The tree would cut off their heads at night. Oh, that's how far mankind thinkings have been coming from. All right, read on.
Another one. Gun. Verse 8. And walk in the statutes of the heathen, whom the Lord cast out from before the children of Israel, and of kings of Israel, which they had made.
So here you have now the southern kingdom did something. They changed the altar and so on. The northern kingdom now get punishment for what they have been doing all along, walking in the sins of Jeroboam. Was I send send nation against them? They believe that because they were so much in number, the other nations they could manage them. The most I stopped fighting for them. So bit by bit they were taken down, until they were all wiped out now by the Assyrians. Read on.
Another one. Gun. Verse 9. And the children of Israel did secretly those things that were not right against the Lord their God, and they built them high places in all their cities, from the tower of the watchman to the fenced city.
You always said they did it secretly.
Good.
Yeah. Well, today it's not. Yeah, we're not in idolatry secretly. I mean that Christian church, which we call a whorehouse unto the Most High's people. That is, there's no secret again. Bowing themselves to a white Christ. Right? You go in there and tell them that Christ is black. You are the evil one.
Right.
Yeah. So it's not a secret again. Idolatry is no secret again. It's out there in the open. You go into any church and you tell them, Jesus is black. You are the true Israelite. Is that a lie you're telling them? You're telling them things that are in the Bible. But you don't know what is going to happen. You are going to be the troublemaker. And who do you think going to take you out? The pastor, the deacon, the elders. The little layman in our church now, that might be news to him. And he say, really? But the ones in the church who come to the realization that, that is so, if I make sure you come out, man. Worse if it's one of the church that have the Edens in their high position. Because now you're going to disrupt their money. They don't want that. Continue.
Another one, verse 10. And they set them up images and groves in every high hill and under every green tree.
Right. There you have it. Just like the southern kingdom. Every high hill and every green tree. And there we are. Just like now, today, you have church on every corner in it.
Right.
Every community in Jamaica have at least 2 churches.
Gone.
There's at least 1, at least 2.
Gone.
Because the 7th day seek to go everywhere there is a Sunday church. And then depends on the population or the Jehovah's Witness is going to follow. And then you're going to have the New Testament man going to follow and the apostolic man going to follow.
Good.
So it's very easy to have a small community with 5 churches. Read on.
It's like, yes, sir. You know what I mean? 5 different churches, you know what I mean, which only makes, you know what I mean, the people in the community just don't take the Bible serious, because here is 5 so-called churches that claim to serve the God of the Bible, but them believe it differently. So, you know what I mean? Them feel like the people don't believe that it's up to their own interpretation, because see, the so-called authority of the Bible, them not agree upon what the Bible says. So, you know what I mean? I guess me can freestyle with it too.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
nobody does the will of the Most High. So, like, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, same way, because if they're going to present 5 different doctrines to you,
Okay.
then it is now you going to look and say, Lord have mercy, which one should I go? Because you can't go all 5 of them. So which you going to go to?
Okay.
So you just make up your own thing and say, all right, are you just eating me anymore?
Good. Good.
Right? And they would eat me anymore. They just go to all 5 and then see which one treat them better.
Good.
And that's the one that they would become. Most say, boy, God in all of them, And that's not so. It's just like in being in the truth, and you have the fake Israelite groups. Same way.
God, I see him. You know what I mean? This divisive spirit that form these other Hebrew Israelite groups,
Same spirit.
God.
Maybe well, it's the Most High put it there, the Most High put it there to test how strong those of us in the truth and those who walk in the straight and narrow from incarnation to incarnation. Just put it there to test you. The whole world, the worldly things are going to be burnt and put to an end anyway.
Right.
All right, continue.
Another one, gun, verse 11. And there they burn incense in all the high places, as did the Eden, whom the Lord carried away before them. That wicked things to provoke the Lord to anger.
12.
Verse 12. For they serve idols, whereof the Lord had said unto them, Ye shall not do this thing.
Right. So this is now telling you why they were brought away by the Assyrians. Read on.
Another one, verse 13. Yet the Lord testified against Israel and against Judah by all the prophets and by all the seers, saying, Turn ye from your evil ways and keep my commandments and my statutes, according to all the law which I command your fathers, which I sent to you by my messenger, Slack, my servant, the prophets.
Keep my commandments. Just this is the same thing we're doing today, telling them, keep the Lord's commandments. Follow Christ. Continue.
Another one, verse 14. Notwithstanding, they would not hear, but harden their necks, like the neck of their fathers, that did not believe in the Lord their God.
Read on.
Verse 15. And they rejected his statutes and his covenant that he made with their fathers, and his testimonies which he testified against them. And they followed vanity and became vain, and went after the heathen that were round about them, concerning whom the Lord had charged them that they should not do like them.
Continue.
Another one, verse 16. And they left all the commandments of the Lord their God, and made them molten images, even calves, and made a grove, and worship all the host of heaven, and serve Baal.
All right. So this is now the two calves. This is now the sins of Jeroboam. They are now being punished for it. Continue. 17.
Another one, verse 17. And they caused their sons and their daughters to pass through the fire, and used divination and enchantments, and sold themselves to do evil in the sight of the Lord, to provoke him to anger.
Right, they use divination and enchantment. It's just like you know reading, going to the reader man. Everything you do now, you go to the reader man.
Good.
The reader man tell you, yeah man, it's a good move, or it's not a bad good move, you know, leave it alone. It's a good move, man. Go and bathe in this and rub up with that and so on and so forth. Enchantments. Right. Go on.
Another one, verse 18. Therefore the Lord was very angry with Israel, and removed them out of his sight. There was none left but the tribe of Judah only.
Go on.
Verse 19. Also Judah kept not the commandments of the Lord their God, but walked in the statutes of Israel which they made.
Right. So after a while, Judah now start following the northern kingdom.
Gone.
Go on.
Another one, verse 20. And the Lord rejected all the seed of Israel, and afflicted them, and delivered them into the hand of spoilers, until he had cast them out of his sight.
Read on.
Another one, verse 21. For he rent Israel from the house of David, and they made Jeroboam the son of Nebat king, and Jeroboam drave Israel from following the Lord, and made them sin a great sin.
22.
Verse 22. For the children of Israel walk in all the sins of Jeroboam, which he did. They departed not from them.
And this angers the Lord. So we keep on doing what we are doing today now and believe that the Lord is with us. And not knowing that the Lord is slow to anger.
Right.
Which means generation after generation they keep doing the thing, and then one generation and just say, yeah, man, enough is enough. Slavery, all of you.
Right.
All right, that is verse 1.
That was verse 22.
All right, 23.
Another one gone, verse 23. Until the Lord removed Israel out of his sight, as he had said by all his servants the prophets, so was Israel carried away out of their own land to Assyria, and to this day.
All right, stick up, pause right there. Give me, think not that I come to destroy the law or the prophets.
Another one gone. Another one gone. This is the book of Matthew chapter 5 verse 70. Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy but to fulfill.
That is what? Matthew what?
Slakia, Matthew 5 and verse 17.
Matthew 5 and 17. Read it again.
Another one gone. This is the book of Matthew chapter 5 verse 17. Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy but to fulfill.
All right. So the Most High punish the northern kingdom for not following the laws, and all the way down to Christ. Christ is saying, don't think that I come to destroy those laws, you know. Same laws which the Most High kick out some of your brothers for not obeying. Those laws still stand. And here we are 2,000 years later telling our people the same thing. Follow those laws, man. I mean, you follow those laws. You see this thing I would come in with now, 15-year mandatory sentence for having an illegal gun. You follow the laws of God, you won't be get caught up in those things. You know? They have a no smoking in public policy. You follow the laws of God, you won't be caught up in that.
Right.
They have laws if you're caught soliciting from a war, you could be charged.
Right.
Follow the laws of God, that won't trouble you. If the woman being a whore can be charged under laws in Jamaica too. Follow the laws of God, you would not be charged. All those won't affect you.
Right.
Him said, don't eat pork, crab, shrimp, lobster. If you follow him, you won't have high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, and those sickness. Right? So you can't say the laws are done away with. Because here you are, not following the laws, and what is happening? These things are happening to you.
Right.
All right, go back to 2 Kings.
Another one gone. Another one gone. This is the book of 2 Kings chapter 17 and verse 24. And the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon and from Kuta and from Ava and from Amath and from Sepharvaim and placed them in the cities of Samaria instead of the children of Israel.
Hold on. Plugged in the thing a while ago, it wasn't charging anyway. All right, continue.
Another one gone. And placed them in the cities of Samaria instead of the children of Israel. And they possessed Samaria and dwell in the cities thereof.
So you see what you see. This is how we know that these Jewish people after slavery, they read the scriptures. What did they do to us here in Jamaica, and is still doing, and doing to our brothers in North America after slavery? They bring in other nations. In Jamaica, they bring in the Chinese. The Indians came as indentured servants. A lot of Arabs in Jamaica here owning business. But during slavery, one who was here. Only we and the white man.
Okay.
The few Arawaks that were here, Tainos, they were in hiding. No other nation came here. But slavery done. Every other nation come. And today, they are going to tell you now the son of the slave who granted no reparation, no means to provide an income for your family. They are going to tell you that you do certain things, you're going straight to prison.
Right.
And
Slakia, sir, Britain did the same thing as well. You know what I mean? What they did, them ship the so-called Jewish man down there in our land in what, 1944.
Right, it's the same thing they did, like what we're reading about now, 1944.
Slakia, either 44 or 48.
48.
Right after World War II.
Right, I think 1948. The state of Israel, I think, was born 1940.
Okay, good.
I think so. So it's like history repeating itself.
Right.
And our oppressors have no qualms in doing these things. Because they read about it in the scripture and oh, this is how you should treat them. Not knowing that they are doing evil. Really. Or maybe they know, but they don't care. They see it working. That's what they see working in. All right, read on.
Another one gun. Verse 25. And so it was at the beginning of their dwelling there that they feared not the Lord. Therefore the Lord sent lions among them, which slew some of them.
26.
Verse 26. Wherefore they spake to the king of Assyria, saying, the nations which thou hast removed and placed in the cities of Samaria know not the manner of the God of the land. Therefore he has sent lions among them, and behold, they slay them, because they know not the manner of the God of the land.
27.
Another one can, verse 27. Then the king of Assyria commanded, saying, carry thither one of the priests whom he brought from thence, and let them go and dwell there, and let him teach them the manner of the God of the land.
All right. So this is the Edens now becoming Christians, eh?
God.
So this our priests going there to teach them how to serve God and all that. But does that make any does that mean that the Most High God choose them as his people? It's just like what these nations in Christianity is doing today. Right? They believe that because they are making sacrifices unto God, then the God of Israel would have chosen them. They say, oh, and they walk around and behave like they are worshiping God. Continue.
Another one can, verse 28. Then one of the priests whom they had carried away from Samaria came and dwelt in Bethel and taught them how they should fear the Lord.
29.
Verse 29, albeit every nation made gods of their own and put them in the houses of the high places, which the Samaritans had made, every nation in their city wherein they dwelt.
30.
Verse 30, and the men of Babylon made Sakat Benat, and the men of Put made Nergal, and the men of Amat made Ashima.
31.
Verse 31, and the Avites made Nibhaz and Tartak, and the Sepharvites burned their children in fire to Ajamelech and Anamelech, the gods of Sepharvaim. Verse 32, so they feared the Lord and made unto themselves of the lowest of them priests of the high places, sacrificed for them in the house of the high places.
All right. So everybody make unto themselves of the lowest. It means anybody can become a priest.
Good.
But for us, who could have become a priest?
Only Levites.
Only the Levites.
Good.
But what did they do? They do the same. What they are doing, is the same thing that the same people who the most take out was doing. The same thing that the Israel, same thing that the Israelites were doing. Because to become a priest unto Baal or unto the golden calf, anybody could do it.
Right.
Which is how you know that there is nothing special being in the church. Anybody can become a pastor.
Good.
Yeah. You just need to go and study and you become a pastor. But in the UPK, it's not everybody can become a priest.
Right.
You know? Well, the first requirement is that you have to be an Israelite.
Right.
And what is required to be on the road, many of them are not willing to pay that price, So they would leave and go after filthy lucre. Read on.
Another one, verse 34. And to this day they do after the former manners. They fear not the Lord, neither do they after the statutes, or after their ordinance, or after the law and commandments which the Lord commanded the children of Jacob, whom he named Israel.
35.
Verse 35. With whom the Lord had made a covenant and charged them, saying, Ye shall not fear other gods, nor bow yourselves to them, nor serve them, nor sacrifice to them.
36.
Verse 36. But the Lord brought you up out of the land of Egypt with great power and a stretched out arm. Him shall ye fear, and him shall ye worship, and him shall ye do sacrifice.
Right. This is for us. This is why the Most High always say, the Lord who brought you up out of the land of Egypt. No matter how much nation you put in the land, they can't relate to that.
Right.
It's just like the white man being a Rasta man. And I tell him that Ethiopia is our home. We are Africans. And the Ethiopian king, that bastard, gave Sashamanian to the people over here, knowing very well that he did not change the laws for them to dwell in the land. Right? You have no white man trying to take up that land because they know that they can't fit into that.
Right.
As much as they want to be Rasta. So these people who were living in the land, as much as they want to live in the land, they can't relate to when you say this, whom the Lord brought out of the land of Egypt. He may bring them out. Continue.
Another one gun, verse 37. And the statutes and the ordinances and the law and the commandment which he wrote for you, ye shall observe to do forevermore, and ye shall not fear other gods.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 38. And the covenant that I have made with you, ye shall not forget, neither shall ye fear other gods.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 39. But the Lord your God ye shall fear, and he shall deliver you out of the hand of all your enemies.
So this is the part now where you know that Ahaz went wrong because Ahaz was supposed to turn to the Most High God for him to deliver him out of the hands of his enemies, just like what David would have done, what David, his father, would have done. But what did he do? He turned to Assyria. He turned to the king of Assyria and formed ally with the king of Assyria, who in turn turned on his brother.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Continue.
Got another one gun. Slack. Got another one gun. Verse 40. Albeit they did not hearken, but they did after their former manner. Slack, yes, sir. Your mic mute.
I thought I knew it. Right. However, they did not listen. And they went into doing what they want to do. Today is no way different. You speak to an Israelite, but what? Him do what him want to see him.
Okay.
Your brethren, you know, you're supposed to stop smoking. You show him all the things and you say, why we know, say you're right, still not true. You're talking, you know.
Right.
Brethren, you know, say you mustn't buy wars and things. Why, we know, we don't do it still, you know. They know. But what? They do it still.
Right.
They went after the former manner. They went after their own loss. Satan not even have your attempt man again, you know, but man become so sinful that Satan just sit down and cock up his foot and man running like autopilot, committing them one sin.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Continue.
Got another one gun. Verse 41. So these nations feared the Lord and served their graven images, both their children and their children's children, as did their fathers, so do they unto this day.
So they do the two things. Worship God and worship the thing there. The Most High God tell us you can't do it so. All right. So this is very important right here, you know. Read that last part there again.
Got another one gun. Verse 41. So these nations feared the Lord and served their graven images, both their children and their children's children, as did their fathers, so do they unto this day.
All right, give me that story there with the woman at the well. When the woman, when Christ said, "Ye worship, ye know not what."
Another one
You know,
gun.
this was why this woman could tell Christ about, you know, my forefathers worship God in these hills. Yeah, because here it is, how they get to worship God in these hills, because the Assyrians brought back some of the priests who were captive to come and show them how to worship God. But Christ basically was telling her, what you think you're doing worshiping God? You don't even know what you worship, but we know what we are worship. Ye worship, we know not what.
Gun. Another one, gun. This is the book of John chapter 4 verse 7. There cometh a woman of Samaria to draw water. Yahushua said unto her, give me to drink. Slakia.
Yeah, go on. Give me the story.
Slakia, verse, read the entire story, I just skip to the point.
Read the next part. I mean, you're the next part.
All right, verse 8 say, for his disciples were gone away unto the city to buy meat. Verse 9.
What is it? John 4 or 7?
Cancer, but the meat of the matter there at chapter verse 19. I can start at 18.
All right, drop down to there.
19. Another one, verse 19. The woman saith unto him, Sir, I perceive that thou art a prophet. Verse 20. Our father worship in this mountain, and he said that in Jerusalem is the place where men are to worship. Verse 21. Yahushua said unto her, Woman, believe me, the hour cometh when ye shall neither in this mountain nor yet in Jerusalem worship the Father. Verse 22. Ye worship, ye know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews.
Right. So that's why we the truth now can tell you that this woman wasn't a Jew, you know. Salvation, them began worshiping and burning incense and doing the same thing that we did.
God.
Just like how you have the Jewish man who keep our holidays and do everything. So much so that we have to read them calendar when we just come out of slavery. We used to have to go to their synagogue when we realized we were Jew at first, until we realized that, hold on, we and the people are not the same thing.
Right.
We need to do our own thing. We need to find God ourselves. Hence, we have the I.S.U.P.K being born, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. And today that is run by Commanding General YAHANNA, who have championed the cause of us learning about ourselves the right way, learning about our God. We and the God who gave us this breath of life. Right? And to the Christian, they think the breath of life is, but we know what is the breath of life.
Right.
You want to know what the breath of life, come to class. Right, so Christ said, you know not what you worship because of this that you are reading about in Kings. They brought in other people who learn our ways, and they thought that they were worshiping the true God. But Christ said, well, you know, the time will come when neither not in Jerusalem nor up here, so we'll be worshiping God. But as for us, we know what we worship. You know not, you worship, you know not what. But we know what we worship because salvation is for us, the Jews. Right? Take me to Deuteronomy 5, and do I need to do that one? Yeah, Deuteronomy 5. Give me, thou shalt have no other gods. I think it's verse 7. Just read that. Showing that it is in the law.
This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 5 and verse 7. Thou shalt have none other God before me.
Right, that is law. And what him said, thou shalt have no other gods. We have a law that tell you what should happen to you if you're in idolatry. Give me Deuteronomy 17 2 to 5.
Another one can. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 17, verse 2. If there be found among you within any of thy gates, which the Lord thy God giveth thee, man or woman, that has wrought wickedness in the sight of the Lord thy God, in transgressing his covenant. Verse 3, and has gone and served other gods, and worship them, either the sun or moon, or any of the hosts of heaven, which I have not commanded. Verse 4, and it be told thee, and thou hast heard of it, and inquired diligently, and behold, it be true, and the thing certain, that such abomination is wrought in Israel. Verse 5, then shalt thou bring forth that man or that woman which have committed that wicked thing unto thy gates, even that man or that woman, and shall stone them with stones till they die.
Right, so the punishment for idolatry is death. And you see, it also says that if it be certain. So you know what the most I did all the time from Jeroboam come all the time down here was making it certain. Everybody know that they were worshiping idols up there. Generations after generations find that out. Jehu came and killed them out. Well, it was the Baal ones, kill them out. And then, you know, they go back to it same. So when the Moses made this move, yeah, it was certain. Nobody couldn't have said, it's not idol they were worshiping. Nah, because it was certain. All right, give me Zephaniah 2, 10 to 12.
Another one can. Another one can. This is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 10. This shall they have for their pride, because they have reproached and magnified themselves against the people of the Lord of hosts. Verse 11. The Lord will be terrible unto them, for he will famish all the gods of the earth, and men shall worship him, every one from his place, even all the isles of the heathen. Verse 12. Ye Ethiopians also, ye shall be slain by my sword.
Yeah, man, the most I could not have been talking about punishing the nations for idolatry and don't mention the Ethiopians, man.
Right.
Because they are the beginning of all this thing, you know. Where the first one, them name again? Them name again, man. We build the tower of Babel.
Nimrod.
Nimrod, the Ethiopian, man. That's where it started, you know. Yeah. So the most I know, Baps, talk about punishing these nations, famishing their gods, means them all kill them off, so that no one is there to go and worship at these idols. He said, you Ethiopian, don't think you escape, you know. You're going to be punished this way too.
Right.
Questions or comment?
No question, sir.
All right. Hold on, one question here. Put up the thing there, the sign-in sheet.
One.
Yes, ma'am. What is the breath of life? My daughter asking me, what is the breath of life? But the breath of life is the laws, God's laws. When God breathed into man the breath of life, that's his laws. That's what makes you live. Yeah, following those laws, that's what makes you live. You see how crime and thing high in Jamaica? Because we're not following those laws.
Right.
Every single crime that out there, which is causing a problem in the country, goes against the law that the Most High gave us. If we were following them, you wouldn't have those problems.
Right.
And that's why we are dying. Yeah. The hospitals overcrowded with sick people. Why you think sick them? These unclean food that they should not be eating is the main cause. But the doctors don't tell them that. Yeah, you're eating too much salt, man. You're putting too much sugar in the food. But they're not telling them yeah, on mango time, you eat too much mango. But they're not telling them the base cause of their problem. All right, so with that, we pass the class of Priest and Officer Kayadwan.
All right, clap it up. All right, these are the I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General YAHANNA. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or a sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or a sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, you can find this in the book of Numbers chapter 18 and 21, and Malachi chapter 30, chapter 3, verse 8 to 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew and is pronounced ma'aishara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you'd like to give. Upcoming holy convocation, that is the memorial of the blowing of the trumpets, and this is the first day of the 7th month, which is Sunday the 25th of September, which is this Sunday coming. You know what I mean? You can tune in to I.S.U.P.K channels and pages, you know what I mean, and watch the memorial of the blowing of the trumpet and partake, you know what I mean? Yeah, man. You can find this in the book of Leviticus chapter 23, verse 24 to 25. Reminding Akiam and Aquatiam to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for I.S.U.P.K events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he's to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. And with that, we say Armadim, which means to stand. Sarwapanya Aquadam, which means turn and face the east. We're going to say the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew and then in English. Abanawa.
Abanawa.
Shabashamayam.
Shabashamayam.
Kwadash.
Kwadash.
Ayah.
Ayah.
Shamka.
Shamka.
Yahawa.
Yahawa.
Malakwatka.
Malakwatka.
Taba'a.
Taba'a.
Patazaka.
Patazaka.
Ayah.
Ayah.
Aisha.
Aisha.
Baharataza.
Baharataza.
Kawa.
Kawa.
Ayah.
Ayah.
Washamayam.
Washamayam.
Nathanawa.
Nathanawa.
Lakam.
Lakam.
Kal.
Kal.
Yawam.
Yawam.
Wasalaklanawa.
Wasalaklanawa.
Kawabwatnawa.
Kawabwatnawa.
Kasalatnawa.
Kasalatnawa.
Kawabwatyanawa.
Kawabwatyanawa.
Wala'a.
Wala'a.
Tabaya anawa.
Tabayanawa.
Banasayawan.
Banasayawan.
Abal.
Abal.
Awashainawa.
Awashainawa.
Mayan.
Mayan.
Rai.
Rai.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Laka.
Laka.
Amalakwat.
Amalakwat.
Wa'ala.
Wa'ala.
Watapara.
Watapara.
La Iwalamiam. Amen.
Amen. In English, Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh.
Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven.
Give us this day our daily bread and forgive us our debts.
Give us this day our daily bread and forgive us our debts.
As we forgive our debtors.
As we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom and the power.
For thine is the kingdom and the power.
And the glory forever.
And the glory forever.
So be it.
So be it.
Prayer for the curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living.
Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh.
Listen to us now.
Listen to us now, right now.
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen.
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen.
That speak against us, thy prophets.
That speak against us, thy prophets.
The teachers.
The teachers.
The princes.
The princes.
The priests.
The priests.
The Israelite brothers and the school.
The Israelite brothers and the school.
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen.
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen.
And shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel.
And shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel.
That refuse to give to the school.
That refuse to give to the school.
Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary.
Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary.
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the Edomites.
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the Edomites.
And the nations.
And the nations.
And their drug dealers.
And their drug dealers.
The court system.
The court system.
The prison system.
The prison system.
Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood.
All the governments of our enemies.
All the governments of our enemies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Roman Catholic Church.
Roman Catholic Church.
The Pope.
The Pope.
Islam.
Islam.
Christianity.
Christianity.
Egyptology.
Egyptology.
Militia.
Militia.
Ku Klux Klan.
Ku Klux Klan.
Aryan Nation. Skinheads.
Skinheads.
Posse Comitazi.
Posse Comitazi.
The gay movement.
The gay movement.
The lesbian movement.
The lesbian movement.
Spies.
Spies.
Workers of witchcraft.
Workers of witchcraft.
NASA space programs.
NASA space program.
Army.
Army.
Navy.
Navy.
Air Force.
Air Force.
Marines.
Marines.
Wall Street.
Wall Street.
Open up the internet and the airways.
Open up the internet and the airways.
The cable access channels and the radio channels.
The cable access channels and the radio channels.
Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us.
Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us.
And send swift destruction to all the heathen.
And bring swift destruction to all the heathens.
That stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words.
That stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words.
Throughout the planet Earth.
Throughout the planet Earth.
Let loose all the plagues.
Let loose all the plagues.
Cause them to go to and fro.
Cause them to go to and fro.
Through the earth.
Through the earth.
And consume them.
And consume them.
Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer.
Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer.
Let Yahweh shine Michael and Gabriel.
Let Yahweh shine Michael and Gabriel.
Come down with the flying saucers.
Come down with the flying saucers.
And punish all the heathens.
And punish all the heathens.
That come up against us.
That come up against us.
As we speak thy word.
As we speak thy word.
Cause it to be known by all.
Cause it to be known by all.
That it is the angels that have done it.
That it is the angels that have done it.
Cause it to be spread through the media.
Cause it to be spread through the media.
Throughout the whole world.
Throughout the whole world.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Thank you, so be.
Thank you always, so be it. All right, this is the prayer for the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ba'asham Yahawashai.
Ba'asham Yahawashai.
Babakwasha.
Babakwasha.
Nathan Lanawa.
Nathan Lanawa.
Haka.
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 Larapa'a.
Larapa'a.
Kalmakala.
Kalmakala.
Wakal Madawa.
Wakal Madawa.
Haka.
Haka.
Lata'ar.
Lata'ar.
Amatazarayam.
Amatazarayam.
Haka.
Haka.
La Aquayam.
La Aquayam.
Amathiam.
Amathiam.
Haka.
Haka.
Irakawa.
Irakawa.
Atama'ala.
Atamala.
Lagarasham.
Lagarasham.
Ba'asham Yahawashai.
Ba'asham Yahawashai.
THAWADAH Aman.
THAWADAH Aman in English. Yahweh, in the name of Yahawashai, please give us the power.
Yahweh, in the name of Yahawashai, please give us the power.
The power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease.
The power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease.
The power to cleanse the lepers.
The power to cleanse the lepers.
The power to raise the dead.
The power to raise the dead.
The power against unclean spirits.
The power against unclean spirits.
To cast them out in the name of Yahushua.
To cast them out in the name of Yahushua.
Thank you, so be.
Thank you, so be it. All right, this is the prayer for the blessings to bless Israel in Hebrew. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ba'asham Yahawashai.
Ba'asham Yahawashai. Barakla now.
Wayasharala.
Wayasharala.
Wa'a.
Waha.
Bayatsaparia.
Bayatsaparia.
Barak.
Barak.
Rapa'a.
Rapa'a.
Magan.
Magan.
Hagan.
Hagan.
Commanding General YAHANNA.
Commanding General YAHANNA.
The generals.
The generals.
The captains.
The captains.
The officers.
The officers.
The troopers.
The troopers.
The young men and the sisters.
The young men and the sisters.
Ba'asham Yahawashai.
Ba'asham Yahawashai.
THAWADAH Aman.
THAWADAH Aman. What we have just said in English, Lord, in the name of Jesus, bless us and Israel and the school. Bless, heal, shield, protect our loved ones in the name of Jesus. Thank you so much.
All right, sir, which means to turn. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher, men of Israel. I.M.A.D.U. Shabbat. I.M.A.D.U. Barak. Yahweh Ba'asham Yahawashai Barakatha.
Yahweh Ba'asham Yahawashai Barakatam.
Yadamata. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the sisters, sir, which means to turn. Men of Israel. I.M.A.D.U. Shabbat. I.M.A.D.U. Barak. Yahweh Shamar Alathan Ba'asham Yahawashai.
Yahweh Shamar Alathan Ba'asham Yahawashai.
Yadamata. Class dismissed.
All right, Warrior, just sign out, do a sign out.
All right, so come.
All right. I'm going to try and give you a call tomorrow. If you talk.
All right, sir. Yeah, man.
Yeah. You get that email the other day?
The last email we get was the email where you sent me with the information.
No, not from me.
Last, sir.
All right, tomorrow.
I have to check still. I'm going to check my email. All right.
And tomorrow we're done.
All right, sir. Come.
All right. Shalom.
Shalom, sir. All right. Remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it on all social media platforms. And with that, I'm going to sign out with some music.
You know, man. Busy man. Yeah, on 44 shit, you know what I mean? Busy man. Look, when that shit drop, you step all the way on their neck, step on their neck and they head with that shit.
Fine in, I ain't show no mercy, we gon' show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel, I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it, got it out the mud, straight to glory. They don't know how I fed, he nice, but he don't show them skills, how I show them skills. He ride, but he don't work the wheel, how I work the wheel. They mad, up to solid, circle tight, yeah, vacuum seal. No, they want my life, I ain't worried, I got rank for real. I got real soldiers, kill for me, nigga, watch yourself. They said you been in beast mode lately, you is not yourself. When you dropping that fire, pressure smash, they inquiring. They can't stop what's coming, but I see them conspiring. Cross the line, them firing. This bitch here, finna break the spin. No kindness, I don't trust you, circle small. You can keep your features. Me and my niggas don't keep no secrets. In the field like Jeepers Creepers, say they want some smoke, dog. So I brought these chimney sweeps. Coming like we coming, you can't even count. These niggas don't run it like we running, bitch, don't even start. Bitch, I'm with my niggas till the end, till them do us part. So if you wanna leave, you can leave, bitch. Bless your heart, fine in. I ain't show no mercy, we gon' show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel, I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it, got it out the mud, straight to glory. They don't know how I feel. He nice, but he don't show them skills, how I show them skills. He ride, but he don't work the wheel, how I work the wheel. Oh, I got a man, circle tight, yeah, back and seal. I heard they want my life, I ain't worried, I got rate for real. Take over in effect, yeah, I'm fully focused. You might not see it on me, just know it's women, that bitch fully loaded. Ooh, yeah, we up and rolling. Told them I need major motion. Think I'm joking, I'ma school them niggas like they baby Jody. Got it out the dust, now I'm too clean, don't know why they hate me. What you want out life, dog? Guns and butter, baby boy. UPK top, dog. Certified road runner. I'ma turn that econ line van to a damn tank. I got choppers stashed in that attic like they Air Frank. They had that shit on lock till I snapped on them like bolt cutters. You cannot play both sides, gotta choose your colors. See him throwing that one up with that W, that's my blood, bro. Fine in. I ain't show no mercy, I'm gon' show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel, I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it, got it out the gut, straight to glory. They don't know how I feel. He nice, but he don't show the skills, how I show the skills. He ride, but he don't work the wheel, how I work the wheel. Oh, I got a man, circle tight, yeah, back and seal. Said they want my life, I ain't worried, I got rate for real.
UPK, oh and west. Babylon is falling to rise no more again. Babylon is falling. Freedom is here, my friend, not just part of the nation. Yeah, our shine never come bring peace in start of the vision. Now put your trust in the riches and wealth, consummation. But just the last statutes and commandments, we make the decision to keep them with precision. I just part of the nation. Daniel get a vision. Him see the black Christ, it wasn't a white depiction. No allegiance to Rome nor its regions. Come out them religion if you want be a free man. Cause the deacons them full of demons. Same situation with Rasta with Islam. Holy beacon of hope for your lean and I.S.U.P.K and the General YAHANNA. Every fowl of the ear, every beast of the field, every creeping thing we creep on land, every mouth of the clear, loud and clear. Yahweh Shai Mashiach is a black man who have ear, let him hear. Time to prepare, spiritually separate from Babylon. We no weak, we no fear, we no tear. Bun Saddam, my bun Batman are just part of the nation. Yahweh Shai never come bring peace in start of the vision. No put your trust in the riches and wealth, guns are ammunition. I just the last statutes and commandments. We make the decision to keep them with precision. Just part of the mission. Send evils and curses on the whole city and the beasts and all churches. America fall, them deserve it. Rome get defeat, history repeat, another first days. Hey, 400 years they work with, then desert with, then turn round and call we worthless. But now the COVID lurking, them hurting, and they need doctors and nurses. Hey, one day table did have to turn after the long journey. No care much money you want earn if you still want Babylon burn. One day table did have to turn after the long journey. No care much money you want earn. Hey, I just part of the mission. Yeah, our shine never come bring peace in start of the vision. No put your trust in the riches and wealth, guns are ammunition. I just the last statutes and commandments. We make the decision to keep them with precision. I just part of the mission.
Baby, no listen to no fake news, them can't